welcome back to another video. So today I thought I would start almost like a fun new little series. As anybody that has followed my channel knows, I usually, when it comes to my bigger books, already buy them pre-graded, ready to go. And that's for a couple reasons, but the biggest one is that I am not the best at grading. I can look at a book, find some flaws with a book, but when it comes to looking at a book and trying to figure out exactly what grade it is, I am terrible at that, and I know it. So for me, a lot of my bigger books and first appearances, it just makes more sense to already buy them pre-graded so I know exactly what I'm getting. So today, I thought it would be a fun thing is that I'm going to do my first submission myself, only a few books, just ones that I want. As you guys also know, I prefer to keep the bulk of my books raw for my main runs. It is just those bigger books, whether it is first appearance, key iconic cover, anything like that, where the point to half point gets more expensive, that I prefer to keep graded. A couple of these books I have raw because I got them for a really good deal. So it's only going to be 3 books. I am going to send them off to get graded, and the stipulation is going to be they will be sent off to be pressed and cleaned by a third party before they are sent to CGC. So they will be pressed and cleaned from what you're going to see. They are going to CGC, so it'll be CGC standards. And that is primarily to keep it in line with everything else I have. Everything is already CGC except for one book anyway, so this will just kind of keep it in line. And I'm going to do it one book, one video at a time for these 3 books. First one I'm going to be sending off that we're actually going to take a look at today is Batman 227. This one I've had for quite a bit now, so this will be the one that we take a look today, up close, nice and thorough, go through, and then you can guess what grade this is going to be. And the next book we're going to take a look at is going to be Flash 139. This will be in the next video. And then the third and final video I'm going to have for this fun little series, except for the grade reveal, is going to be Amazing Spider-Man number 2. Again, this is the earliest, I mean it's number 2, but earliest Amazing Spider-Man book I own. And it is also the biggest book I own, so it not being graded with the rest of them kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. And I would love to know exactly what kind of copy I have right here. So those are the 3 books that we are going to send off to get graded. We're going to look at one video each one at a time. There's obviously going to be a huge lapse in between because I'm going to send these off I have not already. So when I finally get them back months from now, I will link all 3 of these videos in the descriptions, as well as a recap of what it seemed like most of you guys agreed the grade was going to be. So each video where we go through, take a look at the book, guess the grade, I want all of you in the comments to let me know what you believe this book is, what it should grade out to, what your guess and what your estimate is going to be. Because in addition to me going back with you guys looking at these videos, I want to kind of take a tally of pretty much what you guys voted for predominantly, almost like a poll to be what you believed each grade for the books to be. So I think it's going to be really fun for all of us to go back and look at what we had guessed. Again, keeping in mind, this is before cleaning and pressing, but still, you get a pretty good idea of what we're working with. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and start by taking a nice close look at Batman 227. Alright, so here we go. Starting off with this close-up of Batman 227. I'm going to try to be as thorough and gentle as possible so that you guys get a full idea of what this book looks like inside and out without, hurting the book. I've laid down some parchment paper. The surface area is clean, but I like to be extra cautious just in case. So let's start with obviously just back cover to front cover. So we'll flip her over right now. You can get a good look right now. So obviously the corners are not pristine. They're not perfectly angular. You can see a little bit of chipping down in that bottom corner right there where it is not exactly beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get a spine view from the back of the book. Obviously, we have spine ticks all along it, creasing all along it. And again, this is my first time that I'm going to be submitting with Clean and Presser, and I'm going to try to submit these to The Comic Book Presser. I believe is his actual handle that he uses for his business. And I know that he has worked magic before, but obviously, to an extent, you can only get out what you can get out. So you can see some light tears and chipping in the back. A little bit more just kind of that light chipping along the top spine. Slight tears that we have right here. You can see some slight dents in the back cover that I know those for a fact can be worked out. Again, you have a little bit of roughage going on. The bottom corner on this side doesn't look too bad, and there's nothing predominantly in the overall middle of the back cover. It is just on those edges. So let's go ahead and flip this girl over. All right, so starting in the back corner, that same thing we saw before where a little bit of chipping, but it's more just the corners are rubbed and worked down over time. So now we'll go to the spine. So again, same what you saw with the back. The staples are firmly intact. That is not an issue, but spine ticks and dents all along the main spine. You can see a little bit of color rub as we go up. Let's work over to the top of the book. So same thing, just a little bit of roughness as we go. You can see some tears, some color wear. Not quite a overall crease in the book, but more of just like a crease in the paper quality itself. As we get to the top corner right here, you can see we have a pretty big fold, along with, in that corner, multiple folds, all of which break color. Again, you have a slight little bit of color break right there. Just a slight bit of chipping as we go down, and then again, that bottom corner with many folds and just kind of worn down to where it's no longer a smooth nub. And let me just set this down for a minute to adjust. There we go. All right, and so again, what we saw with the back, the main area surface of the book is overall looking pretty good, pretty flat. No real dents or creases, at least that we can see. And I am using natural light right now so that we get a good idea of the book. It has a decent shine, a decent gloss to the cover itself, but obviously, again, that'll highlight all of the wear that me and you have just gone over right now. So let's go ahead and carefully go ahead and open up that first page. And again, nothing hidden inside. Staples are firmly intact in the book itself. And I'm gonna, again, carefully, I'll brace one page, let it rest down so it's not holding the full weight of the book. And unless there is something that stands out, either a tear or a rip, something I miss, I'm just gonna flip through the entirety of the book. We're not gonna stop on each and every page. We are really just looking if there's anything that stands out, like a chunk of the book missing, a tear, a whole page missing. That there should not be because I've already gone through the book before, but still, we'll go ahead and we'll flip through the whole book just to make sure. And so far, again, staples are still very firmly intact. These, I would say, I don't know if it's full on cream, but definitely probably tan to off-white, depending on how strict they want to be. Maybe it gets the off-white. I mean, they're not super creamy, super tan, but you never know how strict they're going to be on any given day. And again, all of the edges of the actual pages inside the book look very, very good. So we're looking good so far for the inside. So a lot of people, if they're grading, they do a quick grading when they're trying to sell or get rid of a book to just kind of give you an estimate of the cover and the back of the cover. But there are a lot of things that can be hidden inside the book that you don't know about. So always flip through your book. So again, if they go that thorough and catch it, I don't know because I haven't graded. There is a little bit of a fold at the top of this page right here. I don't know how much that'll really affect the grade when they grade it, because again, I have no experience with that. The good news is on the next page, it looks like it only slightly, I don't know if you would even notice it on that page if you didn't try catching it on the page before. So for the most part, it stopped at that one page, and you can see where this is the middle of the book. Staples are firmly intact. They look good, no rust. Staples are actually nice and shiny as well. So in addition to no rust, they just look good in general. The staples are holding up very, very well. Turning this very gently so I don't accidentally cause a small rip or anything as we go along. And again, as we're getting close, just make sure the weight of the book stays braced. Nothing else on the pages is really standing out to me too much. Everything is actually looking very, very nice. And say there's maybe just a couple more. Be very careful with that. Continue to flip through as we go. We are still looking good, and we are in the home stretch. Finishing up with the letters to the Batman. DC takes top honors at Comic Art Convention, so still looking very nice. I will say there is just, again, like we saw, a very small chip missing out of the corner of this bottom page, but other than that, that is it. Inside of the back cover is not hiding any writing. It has the same wear that was visible on the front of the cover, but nothing new. Carefully close that. And again, I'm just going to do one book per video, so it doesn't end up being super long in case I end up finding more as we go. But again, just to recap, bottom of the front cover, the spine of the front cover, then we have the top of the front cover, where again, a close-up of that natural light. You can see the light bends, you can see the color breaks, the folds, the wear. Final edge of the book. Like I said, overall, it is a very nice, very well presenting copy. And I say, back cover, if I were to just hold it down here, it looks like a perfect back cover right there. So at first glance, it looks very nice. So again, very well presenting copy. It's not until you really get close and try to scrutinize it that you really start noticing the flaws. But, so I am excited to see what this one comes back especially. Because this one, it's probably a toss-up between 139. I have to double-check Flash 139. But this one I know is, this one and 139 are definitely higher grade than Amazing Spider-Man number 2. So that's what we have for today, folks. And like I said, the next two videos, the next one will be just going over Flash 139, and then we will end it with Amazing Spider-Man number 2. And then, months and months down the road, when I finally get these three babies back, they've been cleaned, they've been pressed, they've been graded and returned, I'm going to do a video showing off the grades. So leave down in the comments, please, what you believe this book should grade out to with a clean and a press. Because I am going to go back to these videos at what all of your guesses were, and those will be included in the final reveal months down the road. So I hope this is a fun little series for you guys. I don't do it too often because I rarely actually submit books for grading myself. So hopefully you guys enjoyed taking an in-depth look at this book also. Neal Adams classic, Batman 227. And please check out my next video when it rolls out, where we take a close look at Flash 139. Thank you guys. Have a great day.